On Marquette Now, the incorrect seal on graduation invitations and how that mistake was made.
Campus safety concerns in classrooms and what nursing students are demanding.
Police officers show up within like those first 10 minutes. Why did nobody come, period?
A campus classic closing at the end of the semester. Marquette Now's TJ Dysart serves up the story from the field.
And later, it's time for me to say goodbye.
From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
Good evening, I'm John Leuzzi.
And I'm Timothy Lateau. Welcome to our final edition of Marquette Now for the school year.
Tonight, we begin with Campus in Mourning.
College of Business Administration first year Cameron Ray and senior Danny Nix are being remembered at a memorial on the first floor in O'Brien Hall, beginning this week and lasting through finals week.
Cameron Ray passed away 2 weeks ago in his dorm room in Cobean Hall.
He had a history of diabetes and was found with his insulin next to him.
Danny Nix died over spring break while vacationing in Mexico.
There was a prayer service held at the memorial on Tuesday for loved ones and members of the campus community to attend.
Students and faculty can write notes and pray at the memorial to honor the students. Turning now to the graduation invitations with the university's Old Seal.
Some families and friends of graduates received a surprise in the mail when they got their invites to commencement without the updated seal.
Here you can see the seal that appeared on those invites. In the bottom left-hand corner, Father Jacques Marquette in a canoe with Native American people.
Now this is the updated seal, which was created last February and excludes Father Marquette and Native American people in the design.
Here you can see the old and new seals side by side.
According to a statement from the university, Marquette provided the third-party vendor, Jostens, with the current university seal when it was implemented last year.
The vendor printed a small number of graduation announcements incorrectly last year, which were sent to graduates this year.
Jostens has sent affected customers new announcements at no cost, full refunds for their original purchase, and their orders are also being expedited to arrive this week.
Sobelman's, a campus classic since 2011, is closing at the end of the semester.
The Marquette Wire broke the news in the Marquette Tribune Tuesday morning. TJ Dysart joins us live from the popular restaurant on Wells Street. TJ?
Yeah, guys, this was an announcement that came as quite a surprise for some, but for others, not so much. If you take a look behind me, you can actually see the restaurant is currently open, and just before the show, we saw some students filing into the restaurant to take advantage of these last couple of weeks that it will be open. Now, I spoke to many students yesterday, and they call it a campus staple, but it's important to note that this campus staple has been at risk of closure before. Back in the fall of 2021, Barstool Marquette even posted on their Instagram saying that students needed to eat there to support. Now, obviously, fast forward to present day, and Tim, John, the unfortunate has come to a reality, and Sobelman's will be shutting its doors.
This wasn't the first time Sobelman's faced a closing. Why in the past did they face closing, and why have they decided this time around they will close?
Yeah, John, I mean, you said it, this is not the first time. And after the COVID-19 pandemic, Sobelman's was facing issues regarding staffing. Now, most of the staff at Sobelman's are Marquette students, and just like any college student with their ever-changing schedules, it was hard for Sobelman's to not only hire students, but also retain them. Now, also, I spoke with a former Sobelman's employee who also told me that part of it could be that Sobelman's just can't compete with Water Street and Brady Street, which are two very popular areas for students to congregate, which just simply wasn't the case 5 years ago.
Jay, as you mentioned, they won't renew their lease. Do we have any information regarding what Marquette students could see taking over the space next fall?
Yeah, Tim, no information as of now regarding as to what business will take over the space, but what we do know is that this vacant storefront won't be the only vacant one on this block. Right down the street from Sobelman's is where Doghouse used to be, and that building is still currently vacant. Now, as we know, we'll just have to wait to see what business, if any, will want to make their presence known on campus. The students I spoke with yesterday said that they would love to see a Raising Cane's take over the space, while some alumni would like to take a trip back down memory lane and see places like Marquette Gyros or Angelo's open, which were two restaurants that had the space back in the mid-90s and early 2000s. But Tim, John, as I said, we'll just have to wait and see come next year.
TJ, thank you. Now to the Center for Student Wellness and Health Promotion, putting on several events last Wednesday in honor of Denim Day.
Denim Day is a day to recognize and support survivors of sexual assault.
Marquette Now's Izzy Fonfara-Jewell has the story.
Within the walls of the 707 Hub, the Center for Student Wellness and Health Promotion provides a safe space. The center is under the direction of Bernadette Heitschmidt, a now familiar face on Marquette's campus.
In this role, I've just been here since October, but I did my undergrad here, I was a grad student here, hall director, hall minister, intern at On Your Mark, been here in different roles.
Heitschmidt helped organize this year's Denim Day to honor survivors of sexual assault.
I know I've participated in Denim Day as an undergraduate student, as a grad student, as a professional staff, and I now have the privilege to oversee the center that gets to put on this day for campus.
The center hosted an event to decorate denim, which would hang around campus to raise awareness.
It's gonna clash with the red. Could I use the green? Thanks.
They also organized a resource fair, story exchange, and silent march.
We just wanted to encompass engaging the entire Marquette community by going around campus and silently marching for our victims and our survivors.
While the march was silent, Heitschmidt and her team are not.
It's really important not to be silent when it comes to a matter such as sexual violence. It can feel really lonely and isolating, and people live in fear that they're not going to be believed.
Heitschmidt placed a strong emphasis on advocates speaking out and speaking up.
The more of us that can speak up against sexual assaults, the more people that we can get to share their stories, to report these crimes, so we can see justice happen.
I'm Izzy Fonfara-Jewell, Marquette Wire News.
Hi, I'm Kara McCoy, joining from inside Studio 6. While Denim Day has passed, the Wellness Center continues to offer resources and support to students affected by sexual assault. And there are still other issues regarding campus safety. Last Wednesday, an individual from outside Marquette entered an unlocked Clark Hall and entered a nursing pharmacology class of approximately 80 students and staff. I witnessed this firsthand. The individual stood in the back of the classroom for minutes, only noticed by the professor before he walked and sat in the second row of the classroom for what, according to students, felt like forever. I spoke with Sally Gambas, the student who first exited the classroom to alert the police.
The police of your location, and they're supposed to automatically most of me and my friends and everyone here was worried about was why did no police officer show up within those first 10 minutes? Why did nobody come, period? There was never a point where a police officer entered the building. Our main thing right now is why do we have these locks and these safeties on the dorms and not to our campus buildings? Because we see how common incidents like shootings are throughout the U.S., and it's anybody can kind of walk into any classroom, and that's obviously what happened in this situation.
To have ID swipe access into academic buildings, that way we can ensure that the only kids or the only people that are coming into our classrooms are people that have access and should be there.
I also think it's really important to have panic buttons inside every classroom. That way professors don't have to feel like they have to speak to whoever's coming into the classroom.
Kara, thank you. Although the individual left calmly when asked by the professor, nursing students hope that no situation happens like this again and that real change will take place on campus.
Certainly a scary situation, but on a lighter note, John.
Spring has sprung, Tim. And as so are a new batch of plants in front of the AMU.
Native grasses known as pocket prairies are popping up right alongside Wisconsin Avenue.
Pocket prairies are put in urban environments when there is not enough space for full prairies.
Through the Marquette Explorers Grant, the organization has been able to create the space.
I love plants. I'm just a plant nerd, and so seeing the diversity of plants that existed here pre-colonization is just fascinating to me. It's a history lesson.
The mission is to create a more sustainable green space to benefit the environment as well as students.
Based on it's typically not used for events, and it also has high visibility. So one of the really cool things is that it's not just folks on our campus that will see this, it's people that are driving by, and it sort of just is a representation of what it means to be Marquette now and in the future.
Nearly 36 native Wisconsin wildflowers are planted as part of the project.
The project hopes to expand further across campus in the future.
The Varsity Theater becomes a debate stage once again, Tim.
And that's right, the college Republicans and Democrats have their first in-person debate since the pandemic began.
The debate is led and organized by the Marquette Civic Dialogues program.
The Civic Dialogues program is in its third year of existence and helps to provide engaging discussion for students with different ideologies.
We're all human beings. We're all just trying to figure out what works the best for us and for our country, and it really helps unite us in a way that we really haven't been recently.
Topics include free speech, gun reform, abortion, healthcare, immigration, and climate change.
Each side uses their chances to make their case and refute the other side's arguments.
People often say, you Republicans are this, or you Democrats are this, and largely that's not the case. Political debate allows you to understand and grapple with the other side and refine your own arguments as well.
The participants encourage students to use these spaces for political dialogue.
The program hopes to hold more debates in the next school year.
And now for something that's not up for debate. It's still cold outside, Emily.
It sure is. And Emily Sacco joins us for a quick look at the weather. Emily, where in the world is that summer weather? It's May.
I don't have that answer for you, Tim, but I do have a look at what the weather looks like right now. All right, we're just going to give the camera a second to catch up with this crazy weather here. Alrighty, I am Emily Sacco here with your Marquette Now tease of weather. Right now it is pretty crisp outside, a nice 45 degrees. Humidity is sitting at 68%, 0% chance of precipitation, and winds coming out of the east-southeast at 7 miles per hour. That's just a quick look right now, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back at with your full forecast right after the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Emily Sacco here with a closer look at your weather. Tonight, it's going to dip just below the 40s, right to 39 degrees. Humidity is going up just a bit, 83% humidity, still sitting pretty at 0% chance of precipitation, and winds coming out of the south at 6 miles an hour. Heading over into our overnight lows, it's staying pretty consistent throughout the state, right around the 40s, 37 up in Superior, and we're hovering at 39 down here in Milwaukee. Taking a look at our state tomorrow's highs, this really shows how temperamental the weather is in Wisconsin right now. 46 degrees up north in Superior and 78 down in La Crosse. Gosh, guys, I wish I was there right now. But it is going to be a nice 58 degrees down here in Milwaukee. Taking a look at tomorrow, we're heading up just a little bit, sitting at 58 degrees, humidity going down to 54%, and precipitation going up just a little bit, 15%, and the winds coming out of the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at your 5-day forecast, guys, we're going to be starting finals week off a little bit of rough with some pretty heavy thunderstorms. But the temperature is going to stay pretty consistent, hovering right around 60 degrees, with our highest being 66 on Tuesday with just a little bit of showers there. That's all, but we're going to head back over to John and Tim. 0% chance of precipitation, but no chance for dry eyes in the newsroom for our next segment, you guys.
Okay, so we're getting a little bit higher temperatures, but Still going to be some rain. Okay.
Yep.
A bummer, Emily. Sorry
Thank
that
you,
you be the
Emily.
bearer of bad news.
That's all right.
Executive News Editor Julia Abuzahab sits down with graduating Wire seniors in a special segment of Down to the Wire. Julia?
Thanks so much, John, and thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Yeah, like John mentioned, you guys are graduating soon, which is so sad that you'll be leaving the Wire, but I'm super excited to see what all of you guys go on to accomplish in your futures. But on a similar note, Emily, what were some of the highlights of your career here at the Wire?
Absolutely. MUR and Marquette Radio have had such a record-breaking year. It's been insane. You know, we had the most amount of on-air hosts this year that we've ever had before, the most amount of shows we've ever had before, most highly attended concerts. It's been a really great year. One of my favorites was our Studio 7 series that we created with the music directors, so I really have to give credit to Rashad Alexander and Sam Bond for really building that series from the ground up. It's been one of my favorite projects to work on. But I would honestly say the culminating factor, the best part, the highlight of my Wire experience was spring concert that we just had. You know, we had some great artists out there. Rick Wilson was there, and it was just so awesome to see all of our hard work pay off for my very last concert with Marquette Radio.
And Skylar, in what ways have you seen yourself grow and evolve throughout your time here at the Wire?
Yeah, I think the Wire has pushed me in a lot of ways, but I think the biggest thing was learning how to have more confidence in myself and to really become a leader. When I first joined the Wire as a first year, I was on the copy desk and was a volunteer arts and entertainment. Was a volunteer for the arts and entertainment desk. But shortly after I joined, so many people left the desk until it was pretty much just me. And learning how to lead a desk and take on that role from so early on with not a lot of experience was very challenging for me, especially during the pandemic. But I really grew a lot through that, and I was like, I want to take this on and I want to make an impact at the Wire. And I didn't realize how it would lead me to trying so many different things, from the journal to investigative reporting, and just getting the chance to be on TV, sometimes on the show, has really pushed me. But I've learned so much from it, and I'm really thankful for this experience.
And Kim, what do you think you're going to miss most of all after you graduate?
That's a very loaded question. A lot of things, but mainly I would have to say I'm going to miss the people. You walk into the newsroom every day and it's, no matter who's in there, you can have a conversation with them about anything. So I think, just that community and that family atmosphere is what I'm going to miss the most.
Yeah, and just keep it brief, but what do you all think is the best part about being part of the Wire?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as Kim said, the people. I feel like we have such a unique culture here. It's been amazing.
Yeah, definitely the people and just the friendships that I've made here. A lot of laughs, but also a lot of hard work too. It's fun.
I mean, I'll echo what I said before, but I think, just getting to be hands-on in a lot of different elements and actually get to do the work that we want to do in our careers, I think that's super special for an organization like the one that we have here, and being able to try new things and learn on the go and with your friends. That's what more could you ask for?
Exactly. And yeah, just speaking of friends, I'm gonna miss to see all of you go, but again, I'm so excited to see what all of you guys accomplish. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. That's all the time that we have. So I'm gonna send it back to John and Tim in the studio.
Hello, I'm Andrew Amuzi with your Marquette Now Sports Report. The men's basketball team isn't the only Big East champion on Marquette's campus. The Marquette golf team once again brings home the Big East crown after winning the championship on Sunday. After a back-and-forth match, Marquette ends the day 9 over par to beat St. John's by 3 strokes. Senior Boom Sima Ari earns co-medalist honors after tying Jack Simon from St. John's for first place at 3 under. This is the 5th time Marquette has won the Big East championship and 4th under head coach Steve Bailey. The Marquette women's lacrosse team is coming off a highly anticipated match against number 3 Denver at Valley Fields. The winner finishes the season perfect and earns the Big East regular season title. It's all Denver in the first as sophomore attacker Lauren Black puts away the second goal. Marquette starts the second quarter strong as graduate student Lydia Faust throws a dime to senior attacker Hannah Grieving to put Marquette in the scores column. The game goes back and forth as Denver escapes the half, leading 5-4. And in the second half, it's all Denver as the Pioneers win 12-5, leaving as Big East champs and finishing a perfect 6-0 on the season. Marquette finishes the season with a 15-2 record overall and 5-1 in conference. Golden Eagles will face the UConn Huskies in the first round of the Big East tournament. Things aren't all bad for the women's lacrosse team. Marquette is ranked 18th in the latest Division I poll. This is the second straight week with Marquette being ranked, with 18th being the highest in program history. Moving on to the men's team, it's Marquette against Denver again, as the team is looking to turn things around after 2 overtime losses. The Pioneers are off to a hot start, scoring in the first 2 minutes of the game, and the game is close the entire time, with sophomore attacker Bobby O'Grady scoring in the second quarter, giving Marquette the lead 6-5, but Denver takes an 8-7 lead going into the half, and in the second half, it's a little bit of the same, but late in the fourth, senior Noah Verlindy gets the steal, and senior attacker Jack Stegman scores to force overtime. But unfortunately for the Golden Eagles, the overtime slump continues as Denver's junior midfielder Stephen Avery scores the game-winning goal. Coming up this week in athletics, as mentioned, the 18th ranked women's lacrosse team kicks off Big East tournament play, facing UConn in the semifinals with hopes of reaching the tournament game for the first time in program history. The game is this Friday at noon Central Time in Storrs, Connecticut. That's it for sports, but don't go anywhere. Timothy Leteau joins Julia Abuzahub on the Down to the Wire for a final goodbye.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Timothy Leteau. Throughout the last couple of years on this program, you've seen some of my favorite stories that I've worked on. I've told over 60 of them. But before I say goodbye, there's one story left that I haven't told, and it's about what goes on right here in our studios and newsroom in Johnston Hall, week after week. Week after week for the past 2 years, I've been lucky enough to tell the greatest stories campus has to offer. Big or small, I just love a good character.
She did not have to know my name in order for our hearts to touch.
We have experiences that are hard. I want them to know that.
Green frogs that hop around, that's one of the granulosas.
So one of the things I've always wanted to do was go to college.
Introducing them is one of my favorite parts and one of the most important. But there's one story left I haven't told about the people here at MUTV and the Marquette Wire. But how should I begin? I think I'll start with where it all started, Mark Zoronsky. He's one of the biggest reasons I came to Marquette, because of his warm welcome and his kindness. And I always have been amazed at the leadership that he showed. And Jerry Ahern and George Smith have succeeded him as thorough directors of student media. If I mention leader, I can't do it without introducing Amy Galashevsky and Andrew Amuzu to the story. They've been two of the most influential executive directors of the Marquette Wire that we've ever had since being created in 2014. And Hope Moses will follow in their footsteps as the next executive director. The Marquette Tribune is full of our most talented designers, editors, and reporters, making sure every inch of paper is used to the fullest. Here they are submitting the last paper of the year on Monday night. Radio and the Journal have worked hard covering all different kinds of stories all year too. Our social media producers make sure that our work is seen by as many people as possible, and Nancy Flaherty also doubles as our anchor coach. Our sports team covers all of the great achievements and tales of the athletes we proudly call our own, and brings so much excitement to campus. Some weeks are hard covering news, but we can always rely on our Marquette Lately team to cheer us up with some comedy to end the week. Whether it's hard news, soft news, or a slow news week, we can always rely on our tight-knit TV news team to plan the best stories every week. TJ Dysart, our former MMJ turned content coach, and executive news editor Julia Buzahab keep us on our toes and prepared, as well as our general manager Sarah Richardson. Here we are critiquing last week's newscast. Sarah and I learned it all from Vanessa Rivera, our executive producer when we were first starting out on our journey. Now, I'm the executive producer, and I can't be more thankful to Andrew Hubbock, Kylie Brockway, and Kara McCoy for their hard work and dedication on Marquette Now. It's long hours and late nights preparing the show every week, but we do it for you, our viewers. And we have the most talented and attentive production team we could ask for, led by Richie Lyons. They get our stories on the air every week, and after a tough one, Luke McDonald always uplifts us. And perhaps the most inspiring member of our entire staff is Ivy Wen. An international student from China, she hasn't been home or seen her family in over 3 years because of the pandemic, but she never fails to have a smile on her face and to put one on ours. And my story for the last couple of minutes in the last couple of years is coming to an end, but the great journalists at the Marquette Wire still keep writing campus's stories and their own, week after week. So, for the final time, I'm Timothy Lateau, Marquette Wire News.
Well, Tim, you're going to make me cry. But I've been so lucky to know you over my time here at The Wire, and it's so sad that your time is going to come to an end, but what are some of the highlights that you'd say over your time here at The Wire?
I think, the most, we've had so many great stories. You and I have worked on a lot of great stories together too, but the greatest thing is the people that we work with, and I hope that's what people realized in that package. My LMJs have done an incredible job all year long, and couldn't be more thankful for them. The people who brought me onto the team last year as well, a huge impact in my life as well. Vanessa and Sarah and Andrew, who was our GM at the time.
Right.
Amy Yelishevsky, our production team too. We put them through so much stress every year, and I always, tell our team that during my critique session. But they always, know how much the work is appreciated. I hope, and it's a lot of stress that they go into, and you can see a lot of the great photos here. I didn't know this was being put together, but what a great montage that they have. I love all this, and just all the great memories that we've had with the team. It's just such an amazing time. So many group hugs, so many highs and lows. It's tough. It's live TV. Things are going to go wrong. We've had great live shots. We've also had days where we're just wiped out as well. All the highs and lows, and great moments in the studio together. That's really just what I love, and hopefully inspiring other people as well.
And now, what kind of drew you to join The Wire in the first place?
Really, when I came to Marquette to tour as a senior in high school, we had so many great facilities, all these great cameras, the camera that you're watching the show on right now, just the greatest technology that we have. But really, the best thing is the people. I remember I came in, it was Martin Luther King Day 2019. There were some students in the exec office, and I said, do you guys have to be here? You guys don't get the day off? They said, no, we want to be here. And I said, okay, I think I want to be here too. And that's really, it's the people that we enjoy working with so much, and we absolutely love just having everyone with us, and all the stories that we get to do is just really amazing. I love good storytelling, but I don't get to tell those stories without the great team backing me and the whole crew as well on The Wire.
And what would you say you're going to miss most of all after you graduate?
I will not miss the lack of sleep, but it is worth it and it does pay off. But there have been some really late nights working with my LMJs, writing our scripts, rewriting our scripts. Sometimes we'll finish writing a script and we'll say, you know what, that just doesn't feel quite right. And we'll go back and we'll see what we can change and rewrite it, and hopefully it pays off, and that you, our audience, knows, just how much effort we put into the stories. We really want to do great. We've had a lot of different dancing moments, dancing on the desk. Yeah, that certainly happened. We've had a lot of fun and a lot of great nights. And they have been some late nights. They've been some fun nights too. And it's just great when we get those big days, whether it's late night working on the Trib or the journal production days, when everyone comes together to put our best effort, for the project together. And this show too, you've only seen maybe a dozen or so people on camera, but guess what? There are about 30 people off camera in the newsroom, in the control room right now, watching us and helping us put this thing on. What they do is amazing. The reflexes to hit those buttons right at the right moments. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of skill.
And as you conclude your final episode for the Marquette Wire, what is one thing that you want to kind of say to your team, to the people watching, to the Wire, just all those people involved?
I think to anyone who's seen my work, whether you've watched it as an audience member or as a colleague of me, I hope that, that's really what we're trying to do here, create memorable stories. I hope that you remember at least one of the stories that I've worked on. And hopefully, to my colleagues, hopefully you remember all the memories that we've made together. And I know there have been a lot that I've made together too, Julia, yeah. And a lot of the other seniors as well. So couldn't be more grateful for all the time and dedication that we put in. It is hours upon hours every week, but they really are well spent, and we truly do it. You know, we want to get a good experience as student journalists. We also want to do it for you, our viewers.
And what would you say has been like the most, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I thought I had more time, but I guess I don't. But thank you, Tim, for being such like a best friend to me throughout the years and such a good coworker. But we'd also like to thank our amazing production team and our control room. They worked so hard all year.
Let's see that control room camera, guys.
Also, we'll be back this September. Oh.
Yeah, give a big wave. There's Ivy in the front row. She's our tech director tonight. Over by those pink keys. She knows what she's doing. She's phenomenal.
We'll be back this September for more episodes of Marquette Now. In the meantime, check out marquettewire.org for the latest campus news. I'm Julie Bouzap, joined by this year's Marquette Wire seniors.
Come on out, guys.
We're ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good night, Marquette.